What's the stupidest thing you've heard a person say aloud in public? Pigs don't have blood. My coworker trying to explain his belief that pigs don't have a heart, blood, or veins, which is why they're white meat. Phones don't run on electricity, they run on batteries. Said in that condescending ugh, this is so obvious voice. I've probably heard worse at some point, but I remember sitting in a Starbucks on campus and this girl was telling this guy about her trip to Italy, and at one point the guy goes, so where do you want to go next? And she says, I've never been to Europe before, so hopefully that. Lol. Since when has anyone died from getting stabbed? A bit late to the party, but I heard a woman explain to another woman how planes don't actually fly from America to Europe. They just hang in the sky motionless while the earth moves below them until Europe appears, and then they land. Breastfeeding is unnatural. Girl in my year 11th health class. Co-worker at my old job, while we were setting up for Black Friday. It's pretty crazy that Black Friday actually falls on a Friday this year. I heard two girls talking about baking when one said she wanted to try baking a bread at home, but she didn't know how to make the crust of the bread. She also said she was thinking about baking the crust only because she liked it more than the rest of the bread. She truly thought that the crust was made separately. Chickens are not animals, they shakes, said a friend who was trying to explain how she can eat poultry and be vegan at the same time. I was in line at a KFC when the guy in front of me asked, how many pieces of chicken are in a 15-piece bucket? I'm vegan but I still eat chicken and turkey. So can I get the Cuban, a sandwich with pulled pork and ham, made with turkey instead of the ham? Me, sure. So do you want me to take the pulled pork off? Or make it with double turkey? No, leave that on. Me, visible confusion. Okay. He comes back later with his lady all mad saying he wants a new sandwich because he didn't know pulled pork was from pig and he doesn't eat pig because he's vegan. I also forgot to mention the sandwich comes with cheese. He didn't complain about that part. When I worked in Congress, I frequently gave tours of the Capitol. As I was wrapping up the tour, one of the constituents asked me to explain the difference between the Capitol and the White House. Okay, sure, not everyone is knowledgeable about American government. I gave them a quick explanation and figured it would be sufficient. Nope, I was clearly mistaken. I then proceeded to listen to this person loudly proclaim that *I* was incorrect and that the White House is the same thing as the Capitol. Bruh. I got 400 days absence in a year but still passed. High school friend dropped this when we were measuring D's on how we got away with things. Took my lovely sheltered best friend to my hometown for the first time. I'm from a mountain town in Southern California, and the mountains all along the drive are all mostly covered in huge boulders. We get to my family's property, which is a 2-acre plot with several boulders. She asked my dad if it was expensive to get the decorative boulders put into the yard. He tried to politely explain that they were natural, but she was pretty sure the owners before us must have had them put in because boulders aren't naturally occurring. Does myself count? I was shopping with my spouse after our child was born. We were in the baby aisle. She picked up a bottle of baby oil, which prompted me to ask aloud, wait, baby oil is actually for babies? A woman who had been walking into the aisle laughed audibly and immediately walked away. During World War II history class, a girl actually thought the front line was a piece of rope held by the troops. Does an egg get boiled before or after it comes out of the chicken? There is a starlet in my country who's famous, I don't know, for being famous I guess. Here are some of best-ofs, translated. I would bulldoze down Church of Street. Donut, built in 9th century, and build an older one. Greetings to my parents, especially mom and dad. I'd love to have more self-confidence in other people. I'm always included in mobbing. I have 5 mobile phones. She never ceases to amaze. Harry Potter Iced Day book. It's a movie. Ivory comes from elephants. Ebony comes from rhinoceroses. Me. Ebony is a type of wood. Got Eurodumbers. Me. Shortly after 9/11 my wife and I were in the UK. On the way home, the customs officer at the airport was dead serious. Officer, are you a US citizen? Wife, yes. Officer, it says here you were born in New Mexico. So when did you become a US citizen? Wife, at birth. New Mexico is in the US. Officer, no it isn't. It's in Mexico. That's why it has Mexico in the name. UMN. My friend has said two of the stupidest things I've ever heard. We were discussing climate change solutions in class and she says, can't we fill a hot air balloon with all the carbon dioxide and send it into space? And regarding deforestation, why don't we just clone fully grown trees? Where are your extra medium dog sweaters? My gym has just refinished the men's locker room. It came out that there would only be personal showers, not community ones. I overheard two gentlemen in their 70s. This is all because of the millennials. What are millennials? Younger people. You know they've never been in the army or navy. Two grandmas talking in France. Well, there is definitely more wind ever since the fall of the Berlin Wall. They were dead serious. I heard that as a kid, and I still laugh at it. Earth is flat, because if it would be round, then it would bounce. Not me but my dad has heard. I set out all these bird feeders and bad baths, but not one bird comes to my yard. I bet it is all those pesticides that crop duster is laying down in the field. Local school board member, as they were standing in her 5-acre yard with 20 or more cats running around. I don't understand why I need to be on time for work. Traveling back from Berlin to the UK, I was sat next to a couple whose conversation had me wondering if I was being secretly recorded. Woman to her husband, I wish we had managed to get to the beach and the seaside in Berlin. It looks so lovely from up here. Do you think we'll go over the channel on the way home? I'd prefer to go around and travel overland all the way. Is this Snowdon we are going over now? We are descending into Manchester. I think this is the same cloud we went through on our way out. An uppity woman to a server in a restaurant. Do you know who I am? Do people realize how ridiculous they seem when they try to throw their weight around like that? When I worked at an aquarium I overheard an American tourist say, "Wow, these penguins look just like birds." While driving around Mexico City. Person 1. Wow, Mexico City is huge. Me, yeah, I think it's one of the biggest cities in the world. American girl, nah, Texas is. Sitting around a bonfire, I can already feel how I'm getting a tan. Green salmonellas, when her salad was served with parsley as decoration. My former GF who is a refine mathematician. Argentina is in Europe. When I asked her why, did she think that her justification was that Messi plays for Barcelona and Spain is in Europe. Another former GF was constantly afraid Italians and or Germans might invade Greece anytime, like they did in the past, and took me years to persuade her to visit Italy with me, where she at last understood Italians are like us, and friendly as hell. She hadn't left Greece ever before. The complete and utter lack of any geopolitical knowledge of people baffles me. I have more examples like these from more people, and I blame the education system for not making history and geography fun for the kids. Saw Avatar in the theater, and as everyone was walking out, a random lady we passed said, out loud, and very seriously, "I wish real life was in 3D. Never have I laughed so hard inside." Girl, do fish sleep? Me, of course they do. Yeah, they sleep in Finding Nemo, so they must do. Me, that's a cartoon. Defensively, yeah, but it's based on a true story. I took my dad to see one of his favorite musicals a few years ago. We were sat in the stalls near the back, and at the interval I was dying to use the bathroom. So as soon as the curtain came down, I hopped into the queue. A woman and her daughter who were sitting in front of us joined the line behind me and were discussing the show. The daughter said it's good and all that, but I just want to tell them to stop being so miserable and to cheer up. We were watching Les Miserables. Was leaving the theater after having watched Fellowship of the Ring. Overheard a guy tell his friend, "I don't get it. How come it ended just like that?" And the friend replied, Tolkien wrote the third already, but he's still working on the second. A customer at a restaurant, after asking for a vegan menu and staring at it for 10 minutes asking, "Why don't you have any chicken dishes on the menu?" followed up with, "What animal is a ham?"